is decisive for all the cancers, breast, ovarian, and nobody does determine progesterone. I cannot understand it. Yes, and that we can prove, that it is correct. The main factor for the cancer of women is progesterone, and nobody does determine progesterone. It is really a contradiction. And why don't you do that? Why don't you determine progesterone? 46% of all cancers of women concern these three ones, here and here. And here, and you see, suffering from an ovary cancer, the survival percentage is between 5 and 8%. It is one of the worst tumors you have, besides the pancreas. And therefore we must do something, and we must. And for you it is very easy to determine, because we have that machine, motor machine. 2 minutes, and you know, is there a deficiency? And in yes, everybody, and please, interrupt me. Yes, here, progesterone, last sentence. Because you cannot determine progesterone in the blood, that's important. Therefore, no doctor does. That's the answer. And here, yes, we go. And here, comprehend, yes. Now, these are our circulatory disorders, heart circulation. In Europe, most people die of heart circulation problems and tumors, and then in the future, dementia. And these are the main issues of our society. And then here our dentist, at every single tooth, at one point you can measure it, and that's really the only. I spent years to develop it, that you can hear exactly which tooth, 36, and what is going on here on this tooth, and on which organ is there an effect. Then which organ does this tooth influence? And that is very new, and now we start our topic in this seminar, very new, the differentiation between the allergies. Allergies are not allergies. And then we have the genuine allergy. Genuine allergy says IgE. And there's a pseudo allergy. What is the difference? And masked allergy, and then intolerances, and then intoxication. Is it important to differentiate? Or is it only theoretical? No. Here are the cause or origin of the failures, or that your therapy is not long-lasting. And therefore, when you can differentiate it, then the success will increase rapidly. Yes. And yes, here, I told you, to discover the blind spot of the man. And here only one example, environmental toxicity. Think of it. Every day you read something in your newspapers about environmental toxicity. No, the convention has no answer. Dioxin, for example, in the liver. No, we cannot determine. Cadmium in the kidneys. As I told you, every time I told you, every fourth or fifth kidney which is removed is a cadmium kidney. But you cannot detect it in a living person. It is, but with moral, no problem. Lead in the bones, all without biopsy. All without biopsy. And so on. Yes, and here, degenerative processes before the state, before and after surgery. And here are the blind spots of the conventional medicine. Hypothyroid function. What do you think? How many persons are in psychiatric hospitals? They only suffer from hypothyroid function. And it is not relevant, or it is not decisive what you determine in the blood thyroid. No, it doesn't work exactly. And then in the blood, the thyroid hormones are normal, are in the norm, but nevertheless, the patient is suffering from a hyperfunction. And we do it, how do we do it? You know, everybody knows, here doesn't cost anything, everybody knows. Here determine the temperature. Yes? We have now here the board to write down. Do you know how to measure it? In the morning, yes. And what is the norm? Yeah. We do it only this, and not only this, with water. We do it. And then, yes, why? And when you measure here the temperature in the morning under the pitch, and then you give them the determined amount of the hormone, and then you will see that health will be, and the declining mood disappears, and in the United States, they mainly apply here the temperature, because the determination in the blood is not reliable enough. It's not reliable enough. And Laura, schreib mal auf 36,4 bis 36. Before, in the morning, before going to the toilet, lying in the bed, and you measure it, yes, 36,4 bis 36,7. Yes. Achso, das, achso, Celsius. Yes, that is decided. Do it. Costs nothing. Nothing. And here we can discuss half an hour. He has the pH of the stomach. When the pH of the stomach is too high, then the acidity of the stomach, of the pancreas, is too low. And then the enzymes, they cannot work exactly. Yes, and tell the patient. You must have an acceptance by the patient, and then tell them that you just have consulted an entire team of specialists here. When they leave, we only carry out the system analysis. And when they leave our practice, and they had visited all these doctors, we must tell them. Then they have confidence to you. Confidence is decisive not only for you, but for the patient. And yeah, here you must know, here again, here the three main issues. And dementia, prior to any kind of morphological. Here, we discussed today PET, the MRT in an advanced phase, and then you can detect function of disrupt function of the brain. But when you discover with PET, it is too late. It is too late. You must be before PET. 4 years, 10 years, 6, 8 years ago, we thought, that is a solution for the Alzheimer problem, PET. It is very intensive, expensive, and only few universities have the PET in Germany. And otherwise, in most countries they don't have, because it is so expensive. And in Germany, one investigation with PET cost about 2,000 euros. About 2,000. You see, very expensive. And then here with Mora, it is not the problem. And then here only there is history. When I learned here acupuncture, we have here every point we have to determine, and with a computer we write down. Oh, it was a terrible work, and about 2 times 80 points. 80 points with every patient. And when the patient came back, next session, appointment, and then again 80 points. Hand and feet. Oh, yes, but there is history only to see something of the development. And then here that you know, or most people here know here these curves. And years ago, I know that they were the measurements, they were not reproducible. And therefore, I gathered 5 experienced testers, and then they measured, and then here at the same patient, and then here we wrote it down, and then you have entirely different curves, entirely different curves. And you cannot go to to the university and tell them, yes, that is Morda, that is acupuncture. They will walk at you. And therefore, I developed further possibilities to test. And now, and that was the first result. Only for point we can prove that there is no problem. That these are the main points. Forget it, and then, but here, most failures are here. The support is not correct. You cannot test like that. The support of the hand, I will show you when I demonstrate here. Here, cross-legged, and then, and I will tell you when I'm sitting. That is the digital measurement. And then when anybody is interested, here on the transparency, every 3 months I corrected and I developed how to test, exactly how to test, and how to test which finger, and how to test, and so on and so on. But nevertheless, it was not sufficient for me. It was not, and they didn't learn it, and so many failures. And then, yes, what is the difference? Electroacupuncture, but it is here. I think it is not of so high interest. The difference between the digital, my measurement, which I developed, and the old acupuncture measurement. There is no new normal value 50. No itis, no osis, no indicator drop, and now that is our new way of measurement. And can I prove that? Yes, again, and how for the new people here, you see, this is the summation point here, summation of the veins. Accidentally, I discovered it one night. Oh, yes. Chiromantic measurement point that is in acupuncture, here's the point, of the veins. And in the veins, there's all the rubbish, there's all the waste in it. And then when we measure here, there's the arteries. And the arteries, they are clean. They're clean blood. And the veins, that is all the waste in it. And therefore, these points are better. And at first, we applied it only with children because it is not painful here. Painful and the points are very robust. Then you can carry out 40, 50 points. And here, that is the summation point of the veins. And here again, you know, yes. And that is the problem here, environmental. The chronification. In Europe, we say 80 up to 90% of all disorders are chronic disorders. And 80 years ago, or 90 years ago, they had the first statistic that was just the contrary. That 80 up to 90% acute disorders and only 10 up to up to 20, and that is the mesenchyme at that time was in full order, and it was in full function, the mesenchyme, and now the mesenchyme is stressed, so on. And therefore the mesenchyme is a tendency of chronification. And we can measure it with more. Stress is, yes, Miebeampulle, every time automatically my assistant put in the Miebeampulle. Miebeampulle, the definition is it makes every point ill. The indicator goes down. That and there is no, in the conventional thing, there is no poison in it. No poison, there are no environmental toxins. It would be forbidden when I put in the Miebeampulle poisons, because it is problematic for, or can be problematic for the patient. Now, in the Miebeampulle, there are medication of the conventional medicine, chemotherapy and so on, and cycle medication of the cycle, and you see the conventional medicine medication which should recover the problems of the patient always leaves the indicator in the low range. And here for that I will demonstrate again. Deficit or excess. How to test it. Excuse me, all the ones who know that, but I always see the mistakes. Mistakes by not to differentiate between deficit. Mora, super, you know, these are ranges of the frequencies, and here again, and then program 77, you know, and program 99, look, next transparency. And that is the adjustment theory. It is very simple, but you have high results. And therefore, I will show you. And that is the Mora. That is with the back electrode. The back electrode. The back electrode, yes, you know, from the back up to which point must reach the back electrode? here.
Brand 25.
Urine bladder 25. And why? What is that? Is the so-called shoe point. SHU. Shoe point. Yes, any idea why up to the, or down to the shoe point 25 urine bladder? You can make mistakes. It's not a shame. It's not a shame. What do you say? Yes, that is the colon. Colon, there's a link to the colon, to the large intestines. From here, this point. And now, to repeat it again and again, and this is a lumbar section L4, L5, and therefore don't carry out surgery at these vertebrae, but regulate the colon. Regulate the colon. And then this is the channel, program 78, and then, as you know, 78 is A mode. And then you adjust it to a bar. And then back electrode at the input of borer, and then one drop of blood in the input tube. And the decisive moment is that the urine bladder meridian has connection to all other meridians of the body. This is the only meridian which has connection to all other meridians. And then, when you take off with the back electrode up to here, from the neck, then you have an entire organ nodule. You have an organ nodule. The entire organ, all the organ is included. And this program is suitable for every therapy. There is a patient who is suffering from a lot of complaints and a lot of problems, and you don't know how to start, what to do. Then start with this program. Can you prove that it works? Yes. For example, you measure with the ELH, and then positive, and only this one. Without using the positive tested elements, you apply this program. And afterwards, you measure again. And then you see a lot of problems have disappeared. A lot of problems have disappeared. And you see, especially with unknown genetics. And the more complaints the patient is suffering from, the more frequent we apply that at the beginning. Try it. Oh, yes.
Question. Can you take last? Why don't you use 77? You use 78.
Yes, that is a correct question. Yes, because we have only small frequency bands with 77, you know. I did it here.